I just finished a project for the World Wildlife Federation. It's a series of 2 documentaries on the fishermen in Kleinmond. Basically, the fishing policy has changed. So the WWF has basically undertaken this project as a pilot project to see how they could use the fair trade model, to engage with the local fishermen, so that in their fishing practices they are cognizant of the environment, but also they can then make a livelihood for themselves and uplift the community at the same time. I used to work as a producer for Big World Cinema, and through them I got the job to work on the documentary that Ross Kemp did on the gangs in Cape Town. And I was working initially as a fixer, and that means that when the producer came out 3 weeks before, we sat in all the drug dens in the Cape Flats, speaking to people, interviewing people, trying to find the right characters. But that also meant that we spent quite a lot of time in Pollsmoor before the actual production began, to do a recce, to get to know the lay of the land, as it were, and again to find the characters that Ross Kemp would interact with, And it was a radical experience. The ghettos was one thing, and that was okay, but the prison was another level, because the walls permeate, and I remember every day coming home and just standing in the shower, just washing it all off, I remember afterwards having nightmares, like, I'd have a dream that for some reason I was sentenced to prison, and, I'd be like, seized up. When we started shooting, I said to the company that I was working with, I said, look, I helped you as a fixer, but now I'm going to step back and I'm just going to be carrying stuff, Please don't ask me to interact with the prisoners, especially at the gangs, because nothing is for nothing. And if I'm going to ask for a favor, I'm going to owe for a favor. So I'll just go back to carrying all the heavy equipment. I don't mind doing that, you know what I mean? But let the English producer do all the negotiations, because I didn't want to owe anyone in that space a favor. There was an incident that happened in Pollsmoor during the pre-production. I remember the warden and the producer were walking down the corridor. It was in the C-Max section. And I remember getting distracted, walking into a little side room and going, wow, that'd be a great photo, that would be a great picture, this would be an amazing picture. And then they'd walked on, down the corridor. And I was kind of standing there on my own. And then I just heard this voice going, and I turned around, basically, hey, where do you sleep? And I turned around and I was like, nee, ik slaap hier nie. I don't sleep here, and I got out of there. But I realized that, if I was actually staying in Pollsmoor, in that split second, my story was over. You know what I mean? It was done and dusted. In that one interaction is make or break. So this is why I say, guys who spend a lot of time inside, is like they've got their doctorate in human behavior, because they observe people under severe stress and tension, so they get to really understand how people work, at the most basic survival instinct level. Yeah. The last book that I published was a collaborative project, and for me it was kind of a soul-feeding project. It was an artistic, let's say, endeavor of sorts. The kind of theme was infrastructure, and I called the magazine, the online magazine, Bridge. And what it was me writing a proposal and sending it to lots of friends, and then no one got back to me until 6-7 months later. All of a sudden, people were sending me content. And my brief to them was, the theme is infrastructure. Don't think about it too long. I don't want a dissertation. I just want a gut reaction, and send me the first thing that comes to mind. And I got some really nice work from people that I'd met and friends of mine from all different walks of life, from different countries. and I put it together in one book. And I published it on a website called MagCloud, and they're a subsidiary, or they were, I'm not sure if they still are, Hewlett-Packard. So with them you can purchase the magazine, and it's print on demand, and they'll print it for you, you know, and they'll post it to you. So one of the participating artists, he's the only person that I know of who actually purchased the hard copy, you know, and he was so stoked. It was massive, it was quite a thick one, you know, and it's got everything. I think it's a very interesting collaborative project, you know, in terms of the kind of content and the range of work, the photography, and the people involved. And that was my own. You know, I've always had this thing of doing it myself. You know, if I'm not busy, I'll get busy. I'll get myself. I'll make sure that I'm keeping myself busy and producing content.